Good morning. If you want to come on in and have a seat, we're going to be getting started here in just a second. We are glad that you have chosen to worship with us on this beautiful, crisp fall morning. And as we get started this morning, we have a few announcements to get us going. If you are new or with us for the first time in a long time, there are these welcome cards that are on the pew rack in front of you. And we would love it if you'd take the opportunity to fill one of these out this morning, just so we can know that you are here, and we can also know how we can connect with you and pray with you. If you flip the card over, there are check boxes that you can fill out if you are interested in getting connected further with us, whether it be through community group, prayer group, discipleship group. There are all these different options on ways that we can connect with you and serve you better as a church family. And if you need to respond, and Pastor Will's sermon later on, you can do that also on the back. There are 2 blue boxes on the back walls as you walk out this morning, and you can drop these cards in the back. And there's also Miss Josie or any of our staff or elders that you can hand these off to individually, and we'd love to connect with you and take those cards. If you were joining us online this morning due to COVID or travel or any other reason, we are glad that you're choosing to worship with us online, and we are glad that you're participating with us, and we again welcome you to Kasuth and worship this morning. We have a few announcements that are important coming up in the next few weeks, especially in worship, so hang with me here for just a second. Fall Festival is next Saturday, and it'll be right here in the parking lot. Setup starts at 2. If you need more information about that, you can see Miss Amy Noloff or Pastor Gami, and they'd would love to help you get connected and serving in that. We do need more volunteers to help with that, so see them. Again, setup for that starts at 2, and so please see the Noloffs or Pastor Gami for more information about that. That'll be again here next Saturday in the parking lot. Setup starts at 2. Again, beginning this coming week and the next couple of weeks here in this building is Missions Emphasis Week, and that will affect everything that we do on Sundays. So Connection Hour will be here in this room, right? So all of our Connection Hours will be on pause. We'll be meeting here in this room to talk about how God is using us to be about reaching the nations, beginning in our neighborhoods and moving forward across the world. And so that'll be affecting how we do worship and how we do our Connections Hour. So we intentionally invite you to be here with us. Starting here at the 9:15 hour and all the way through our worship gathering. So that's an intentional time of what we'll be doing here in October, especially over the next 2 Sundays, really meeting together, and I'll be led by Pastor Michael. So our college students on Friday night will be having Michael with us to share, but even here on Sunday, we'll be really focusing on how God has called us to be about taking the gospel to the nations, beginning with our neighbors. And so please be intentional about joining us on Sunday. And again, we'll be broadcasting those services on our live stream on Sunday morning. If you cannot join us because of illness or whatever reason, we are greatly appreciative of you caring for your family. As we continue in worship this morning, we're going to go and intentionally go to the Lord in prayer as we just remember what is happening across our world, and just the last few hours and few days, and recognize that we've been looking through Colossians over the last few weeks and been reading what Paul has been calling us to, of not being captivated by what's happening in the world. And Will's going to be taking us through a passage this morning of recognizing that we're not called to be about religion, but called to be recognizing that God has called us to be close to Him and knowing Him and loving Him and really leaning into Him. And as we look at what's going on in the world, we've been at fall retreat with the college students this weekend, and really trying to dive in closer of understanding that it's not about trying to dive into religion, but being truly into what relationship is in and what it's about, of being in a relationship with God. And this morning, as we move into worship, there's a lot of things that can distract us. There's a lot of things that are vying for our attention, whether it's politics or news or things that are happening around us. As we come into worship this morning, I would encourage us to pause and to let God be the one who captivates our attention. To let the worship of God be the one that captivates our attention. So as we come to this moment, would you stand with me as we pray and as we continue into this time of worship? God, we are grateful that you allow us to come into a place like this, into a time such as this, so that we can gather as your children and as your people. God, we pray that you would remove distractions from us, so that we can be filled even greater than we have before, knowing you and experiencing the greatness of your joy, and the greatness of your presence. God, as your children this morning, we desire to worship you. We desire to make great your name. God, we also come in here and we recognize that there are people across the world who are hurting. There are brothers and sisters across this world this morning who are in great pain and great persecution, and we pray for them. We pray that you would give them great endurance and perseverance during their time of persecution, that you allow your name to be made famous even during their suffering. God, we pray that we wouldn't be numb and saying, well, this is just what the world is, and that that's just where they are, and that's just what they have to do. God, we pray that we would join with them in the suffering. We would join with them in understanding that you have called us to be brothers and sisters of theirs. Because just as you have adopted us, you have adopted them, and we are one in your body and in your family. So God, as we sing now in worship, and as we open the word in worship today, we open it as a family that's gathered across the world, lifting high your name as one family and one kingdom as your children. So God, let us not contemplate the things of the world as distractions, but let us contemplate the things of the world as you are working in mighty and wondrous ways that we can't even understand. And let's see you reigning in and through us. So God, let our worship be acceptable and pleasing to you this morning. It's in your name that we pray.
Amen. As Chad said, there's so many things that can distract us, situations around us that just seem to be crazy, that make it seem like maybe God's not in control. Yet the writer of Psalm 47 in verses 6 and 7 says, "For God is the King of all the earth. Sing praises with a song." So, because God is King, let's worship him. Let's crown him with many crowns. Crown with many crowns, the Lamb upon his throne. Hark how the heavenly anthem drowns all music but its own.